everybody. No early show tonight, but I saved up enough energy for this one. Oh, Natalie in the eyes of Keith Jackson, the guy that used to do a lot of games over at the Coliseum in L.A., much to the knowledge of my new member of this crew, Marvin Powell III. It's his coming out party on the Sports Exchange. And boy, I'm going to make sure he talks about this from here all the way to wherever he wants to talk about it, because I'll have more information in here, bigger than Canada, baby. My information, it goes far and wide. And if you wonder what that means, stick around for the next 60 to 70 minutes or whatever we have of this show. Be far and wide, because we're going on quite a ride. All right, with that said, all the particulars there. Marvin Powell is on Inside the Piston, but he's nice enough to come on Wednesday night because he likes to talk hoops. And I'm going to give him an awful lot of hoops to talk about and then some. All right, well, Marvin, welcome back to your newest act here on the network.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be with you, all you pros, and looking forward to doing this Wednesday nights moving forward.
You know it, Ben. We are, so are we. And we have the pizza man, Chris. Oh, my goodness.
What's up?
His laughs and all his tangents can be seen all the way from here to Buenos Aires. And what do I mean by that? We have an Argentine gringo. We got a New York pizza man. Oh, my goodness. And the Argentine gringo will be coming back on the network in a couple of weeks. And we have Jacob Christner, Mr. Opinion, Mr. Fact, whatever you want to call
Mr. Fact.
And
let me tell you this. I would have had a UCLA hat to counter the SC hat, but not even I am a label wants to admit they're there. He's there. So I don't think I could do that.
No, listen, nobody's trying to associate with them Bruins right now. It's a dumpster fire. Don't get me started.
No. Dumpster fires are insulted to be compared to that place.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's bad.
Last but not least, the person that can't keep her hand right out of it because she knows it is for one whale of a ride with this group, Candy. Welcome back, Candy.
It's so good to be here. I can't wait to enjoy and laugh and have a good time talking whatever we're talking about tonight, because I can't even just say sports. You never know what we're talking about here.
We don't.
Well, George Eichhorn will be joining me on Sports Wrap tomorrow night, but that's okay, George. And I know you'll watch this show at some point. Study your new teammate, Marvin Powell III, because this guy is going to be one heck of a big addition to this show. With that said, I'm going to stop talking, and stop. I'm never stopping talking, but I'm going to get started talking. It's criminal if I start talking, because my wife would be bored with the two cats, and they don't have as big a language as I do, let alone mouth. Okay, with that said, before we get to the main topic, which everybody wants to know about the Yankees' consecutive winning seasons, which are truly incredible, we're going to go ahead and get to a couple things first. And I know one that I'd like to start off with is tennis. Why would I start off with tennis to lead off this show? Well, get this. A young 16-year-old fan who caught Novak Djokovic tennis racket back in 2016 after his historic French Open actually went ahead and sold it for $107,000 at an auction. So you talk about a person that got a souvenir and sold it to six figures. My goodness, a tennis racket selling for $107,000, not a bad. So here's a question, Marvin. I'm going to start you off. Would you have sold that racket, or would you have kept it?
I absolutely would have sold it at some point, but not now. It's too soon. You got to wait. You got to wait longer than that. You got to let that asset really accumulate some value, and try to get $500,000 out of that thing, man. $250,000, $100,000 ain't chump change at all, especially in this economy. But something like that, you hold on to it unless you're going through a life situation and you need an easy $100,000 or whatever it may be. But we're talking about a Hall of Fame tennis player. We're talking about somebody who will go down as one of the all-time best. So anything attached to that person, such as a racket, I would think that it's going to only increase in value as time goes on. So I would have held out for the longer play for the bigger check if you were going to do that.
You know what? Before I turn over to the pizza man, I agree with you. I would have kept it for a while longer too, because the longer memorabilia holds itself out, especially in that situation, a tennis racket from a major, you got to sit on that money waiting to be collected later.
Right.
But I agree with you. I don't know how hard money's up. I'm with you, Marvin. Great minds think alike. I would have kept the racket. All right, pizza man.
I'm with Marvin. I'm with you, Scott, as well. I would wait a little bit and, you know what? Maybe you would get an opportunity to get it signed, right? By him, and it would probably go even higher in value to have it signed. Plus, it's it's game used and all that. So, or match used, excuse me. But yeah, I think I would wait it out a little bit, unless, of course, hey, some people need the money, and I'm like everybody else. Yeah, sure, $100,000 is not bad, but again, like Marvin said, you ain't getting much with $100,000, unfortunately, in these days. So I would probably wait it out a little bit for sure.
Candy?
Everything that they've said. I mean, yes, I would hold out. A couple years down the road, I don't know how much memorabilia is going to be going for in a couple years, because people aren't keeping possessions as much. So I would hold on to it for a couple more years, because he's not quite at retirement, but I think probably right at like his retirement, that's when I'm going to be like, I think I want to sell it now, because people know him now. So that would be the time I would sell it. So I would hold on to it a little bit longer, but we'll see.
Jacob?
You're talking to somebody who really knows tennis. That's my game, and I still play it.
Okay.
The big thing, one of the biggest things you have to deal with right now, this is a huge mistake because he's still around. And you said about $500,000 when it comes. It'll be way more than that when it's over. Because there was 3 players in the Rod Laver era, 22. It's Rod Laver and his 2. It'll come to me in just a second on that. That big 3, 21 Grand Slams. 21 Grand Slams. The John McEnroe, Bjorn Borg, and Jimmy Connors are 22. The idea of the 22, the Sampras, Agassi, that's sort 22 themselves. 66 between Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal. That's going to be the greatest triplicate. That every racket that somebody gets will make millions. Forget $500,000. It'll be worth 10 or 20 million if he did not do that. But see, the thing is, a lot of people don't understand money. They don't understand money. They don't understand anything. They understand the now. That's why they make decisions on like fantasy football, and they go to 2-10 for the year or 2-12.
Fair enough. That's good. There's no question memorabilia you can sell, and when you're dealing with a Grand Slam, and Djokovic, one of the better players in the game for sure. All right, let's go ahead and shift over to college football. Oklahoma's in the top 10 for the first time since 2023. Quarterback, though, John Mateer is out with a wrist injury. Michael Hawkins Jr. is his backup. He'll start, and according to Coach Max Venables, what are your thoughts about this? How long will they stay in the top the top 10? Because this is a great historical program, but they're in the Southeastern Conference, Marvin.
Yeah, Oklahoma, they're off to a good start right now, which is important for Brent Venables, just because those first few years were a little up and down, and there was a lot of conversation about whether or not he was ready to take on and lead a major program on his own after so many years successful at Clemson. That listen, college football is all about having the stud athletes. I mean, if you have more stud athletes, then you have a chance to be successful. And and just like the NFL, it's a quarterback-driven situation. So if they're 3-0 with their starting quarterback and he's out, that's an issue. That's significant. This is the guy who's been getting reps in camp. This is the guy who's been getting reps all season. Without question, he is in sync with his offense. So bringing in a guy number 2. It's Oklahoma, so you assume this is a 4 or 5-star backup who should be athletic, should be good. We're going to find out because listen, right now in college football, a lot of parity. Everybody's losing. I don't know if anybody's going undefeated, to be honest with you. And a lot of that has to do with you being able to stay healthy. So for Oklahoma, listen, I hope that your quarterback can get back in there sometime soon, because you're just now getting into conference play. And while the SEC, in my opinion, is down, it's still the SEC. And you're going to have fierce competition. So they need all living out there. They're better off with that starting quarterback getting healthy. Hopefully they can keep it together while he's out.
Great stuff. Okay, Chris.
Listen, they got the week off this week. and then they come back and they play Kent State. So that's a great game, I think, because you're giving them an extra week to prepare the backup, right, to play in that game against Kent State. And then after that, the rest of their schedule is Texas, at South Carolina, Ole Miss, at Tennessee, at Alabama, then Missouri, then LSU. So this is a good time to get that number one guy healthy. So you're giving him at least 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks to get healthy again, right? So I think it's a great time to get your backup in there, let him play a game, and at least he's ready in case he's not, in case the number one is not.
I'll say one thing. Oklahoma caught my attention when they beat the Michigan Wolverines. I had Candy recording that game when I saw how badly they beat the Wolverines. To delete it, I didn't want to see this. But then again, I didn't know Oklahoma was that good. All of a sudden, when Tier goes out, you bring in the backup, and this team is still pretty good. I wouldn't rule them out. Candy, go ahead.
Mateer he's a Heisman candidate through the first 4 games. He is going to miss time, but is expected to return this season. The sophomore signal caller, Michael Hawkins Jr., will start the Sooners' next contest, like Chris said, October 4th against Kent State. He was the backup last year and started 4 games as a freshman for Oklahoma last year. So it's not like he hasn't played at all in college or for this team. And then they're hoping that Mateer can return as early as October 18th against South Carolina. So he'd only miss 2 games with the bye. So let's hope he can. But you know what? Let's hope that Hawkins, who's 19 and started 4 games again last year, that he does good this year against Kent. And let's just see how he does. But Kent State's a good one for him to at least get his feet wet this year with it.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Well, unless you have
Here's
something
the
to add,
thing.
Marvin, unless you want to add to it.
No, I was going to say, if he started 4 games last year, then he already has the confidence. He already has the moxie. That's the kind of experience that makes all the difference in the world. I didn't know he had that kind of experience. I'll be honest with you. This kid's mentality is to go in there and try to win the job. That's what he's on, without question. He's not thinking of, oh my God, my first time starting, because that's a reality as well. That these kids go through that. All the nerves and stuff. No, this kid's going out there trying to win that job and quietly create real competition and create a problem for the coach to have to decide on.
Great stuff, Marvin. Awesome. Yeah. All right, go ahead, Jacob.
See, the biggest thing is I noticed this part is I knew that whole situation too, and realized that this is nothing but media driven, because who in the nice little rivalry that's coming up, who's struggling right now, sort of, or quite a bit, Arch. If they can't they have to have themselves a little story to be able to make Arch Manning a little bit interesting for this thing, because it's one thing if you struggle. He finally had a good one last week, but he struggled against a couple of really weak teams. If he's struggling, they know Oklahoma is going to absolutely boat race him, right, dog walk him every other way word. But the thing is, we saw what he did with Ohio State, and he had no swagger there. They have to build his swagger, and they have to build a storyline. The storyline is that Oklahoma's starter is down right now. So when he come back, that is what the media is aiming for that. It's starting now. And in truth, these are the situations this is why I kind of hate media, because I can see right through them in the first place. But overall, it's not going to make a humongous amount of difference. But because I have seen Texas completely dominate and Oklahoma come in and whip it and whip them, and then the other way around in this Red River rivalry. So it really doesn't matter overall.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? We'll stay in the Midwest. Caleb Williams in his first game without getting sacked at all. He had 4 touchdowns against 0 interceptions and a 31-14 win over Dallas, minus Micah Parsons, and we know Chicago Bears. So I got to go to Jacob. I had this topic in mind when I knew you were.
I knew that. That's why I turned my head at you.
Yeah,
I know. My head at you.
You have your head all the time on me. That's beside the point. So I have to ask you, Jacob.
I have to give Caleb credit. He actually kept. The biggest thing about it is I've always said, will he when the back is against the wall, when the hits the fan, will he do it? So far he has not. Right. But in this case, this is the best game of his life, even better than the London game last year.
Yeah.
He showed something on that one whatsoever, and they had no sacks. So it gave him some time. I will say this, though, that flea flicker, which was an absolute gorgeous pass, I will admit. And by the way, Marvin, I have to just say this to you. He had to give this to me because I hate Caleb Williams. I hated that choice with an absolute passion. So he had to give that to me.
How could you hate that choice?
What?
How could you hate that choice?
Oh, I hated it. Despised it. I wanted
they compared him to two people. They compared him to Elway and Luck.
Because I like my quarterback's fingernails nice and clean.
I hear you. Boy. Hey, listen, that's a generation. I feel you on that. I had to suck that one up too.
I'm not sucking it up. I'm telling the thing, but the big thing about it, this though, is I'm also going to admit when he played well, and he played well on that. But the biggest thing is I will admit that the flea flicker from DeAndre Swift almost got him killed because he floats it up in the air and tells him to catch.
Yeah.
But overall though, I mean by itself, that is the Bears have lost 12 out of 14, which means that was the first win. That was the first win over a first team, the first team court in the offense and defense in over 350 days.
Let me tell you what this looks like to me. I'll tell you what it really looks like to me. Looks like fool's gold. It really does.
I admit it. I'll admit that too.
Finish. Let me finish. Wait. I'll give you time. I took the topic from inside the pigeon and moved it here just because of you.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, let me finish. Although it didn't hurt, I knew Marvin was coming on anyways. It doesn't matter. Marvin was going to get it one way or the other. This topic is just I have to get it against you. This is fool's gold. Ben Johnson, man. I could go out there and make a lot out of Matt Eberflus's defense in Texas. Really? Seriously, really? I'm telling you, Jacob, I picked this topic because of you, and I knew Marvin would get it, but here's the deal, okay? Fool's gold. Remember that, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, hold it. I'm not done, okay? Micah Parsons is in Green Bay. Do you need a geography lesson? You know what? My cat fucking could have rushed the damn passer than what they had over there. If that isn't good enough, even Boots, my cute little chunky monkey Tennessee, whatever you call it, tuxedo cat, could have done it. In fact, Boots would have done a good job. Would have killed him. Boots, he's such a cute little animal. I swear to God, he don't have a tail, but boy, he's got a belly. And he could have flattened that cotton-picking quarterback. But fool's gold. But that's why I brought it on. Now you can defend yourself.
There's no defending. You're right. It's like, you're right because here's the deal. The only road game he's won is London. I brought up London. The only road game's won is London. He's got. I don't know if he's going to win. I don't think he's going to win Las Vegas. And the rest of that's the easiest one. The rest of them are like Philadelphia and Baltimore.
He keeps playing badly in Chicago. That'll be a road game for him.
Yeah, no kidding. And I'm agreeing with you on that. It's because I would forget fool's gold because it means even less than fool's gold. That's like by itself. But the thing, and by the way, I wanted Jaden Daniels, so I'm just letting you know that. But no, the big thing about it is the fact that they have not won against the first team in over 350 days, and I'm not sure when the next one will be. So I'm going to enjoy it for this time. I still want a different quarterback in there.
Well, I like it when you're in that. I like it when you're in that inscriber sideline chat. That's when you get the best out of him, and that's what goes ahead and really gets me going. That's why I'm telling you, I feel like a genius with this topic. And I got Marvin here right there with me. You got my back, brother?
Okay, first of all, if y'all recall, earlier this year, it came out that Caleb Williams' dad had, in the draft process, had been kind of looking somewhere other than Chicago. They didn't want to go to Chicago. They were trying to avoid Chicago because Chicago quarterback killer. Now look at Caleb Williams. He's in year 2. He's had 3 offensive coordinators and 2 head coaches. He's only played 20 games in the NFL. 3 offensive coordinators, 2 head coaches. With that said, I think he had a good rookie year considering, and I think he's still on track for everything that he was mentioned to be, said to be coming out. Listen, he's young. Again, we've been spoiled by Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, who in year 2 and in year 3 were MVPs, Super Bowl MVPs. So now that's the standard. So for everybody now, for every other quarterback if they don't come out the gate looking like that, we're talking about getting rid of them. And now you look at Daniel Jones. Okay, you look at a guy like Daniel Jones who takes that whole mentality and turns it upside down. Look, to me, in my opinion, as a Jet fan who's been looking for a quarterback ever since Ken O'Brien retired, Ken O'Brien retired, I'll take Caleb in a heartbeat. Jacob,
go right ahead.
Caleb is going to go. Caleb is going to have a gold jacket.
Right ahead.
Here's what I have to say about Caleb.
Well, it's not like the standards high in Chicago. They've never had a 4,000-yard passer in that place.
I don't care. I want to win games. He's not going to win with Caleb Williams. You're not going to
win.
All
right, well, whatever. Hey, let's talk Sports Network. Glad to have you on. This is just getting warmed up.
Trust me. There's no fool's gold. There's no fool's gold with Caleb Williams.
It is fool's gold.
No, I know.
I'm just baby wimp.
No, you know what? Where the fool's gold really is? It's with Ben Johnson to think, what can he do with him? Caleb Williams, you're right, Marvin. The recipe for failure as a quarterback is go through several head coaches and offensive coordinator. How many times do we see quarterbacks wreck because those two places are not stable? I'm with you, Marvin. I covered Detroit Lions for a lot of years. I went through a lot of them.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. And here's another rule in Detroit. If you're a head coach, you're like a lot of my old first dates. You're a one and done because you ain't getting another opportunity. They are. I'm serious. And they're not. They don't get Lions coaches don't get hired anywhere else.
I love that.
And to Jacob's point, it is tough watching Jaden Daniels have a phenomenal rookie year. Obviously, he's in a different situation, but have a phenomenal rookie year. And you think, well, if Chicago had him last year, things would have been different. I don't think so at all.
I trust Jaden to have grit and guts when things go bad. I trust him to go cry to mommy and cry on his pillow like he admits he does. And
that means he cares.
You keep talking about, it's the generation. It doesn't need to be a generation. That's a parenting problem. It's like that's a parenting problem when the boy is that dang soft.
Yeah. Well,
listen, I'm going to try to play both sides are in the middle here, but you got to give Caleb.
Chris, you get your opportunity to go through all this stuff. And Jacob, you're half of you is in Atlanta, the other parts of you is in Savannah. Okay,
that's not bad. Listen, Caleb, like Marvin said, the guy's already on his third offensive coordinator, and now he's got a legit offensive coordinator, right? He's got one of the best in the entire league in Ben Johnson, right? You've seen what he did with Detroit last year. I mean, he also had a lot of toys to play with last year with Detroit because they are loaded on offense. But you know what? So is Chicago. Forget about Caleb. Look at the offense. Look at the weapons that this guy has to throw to. He's got two really good tight ends. He's got two really good wide receivers. He's got DeAndre Swift at running back. He's got everything there in front of him. And now he's got an offensive coordinator. Let's see what this guy could do. He's only been with him for 3 games, right? Give the kid a shot. At least give him the whole season. And then, you know what? If he doesn't show any improvement, then, you know what? Then Jacob could be the guy to be like, hey.
No, because we're going to lose the real starter to somebody else who's going to blow up. And then this little crybaby's going to go to mommy again. Then we're going to be ruined the next 10 years.
Listen, that's fine. But you know what? Give the kid a shot and give Ben Johnson a shot to develop him. You got it.
Ben Johnson can have all the shots in the world. That's fine. I like him.
He's getting $10 million a year to have all the darn shots that he needs. He'll get the shots, all right.
Yeah, and he's got all the weapons on this team. The Bears are loaded on offense.
And he's a pea shooter. He's got a great arm, but his mind is a pea shooter.
Well, I'm not going there.
Man.
There's a lot of places I'm going, but I'm not going there. And don't worry, after this topic, you'll understand why I'm not going there. Go ahead, Candy.
Oh my goodness, how do I follow that?
I don't know.
So Caleb Williams has found himself in the NFC North. Not necessarily the easiest division to play in either. But I agree with the panel that are saying he's had too many head coaches, too many quarterbacks, too many offensive coordinators, too many changes in the NFL, and he has to get used to the NFL. We've all talked about how it's a big change to go from the college game to the NFL, to playing in the NFL. And now on top of it, you throw him in right away. You throw him in with some not so good coaches or not so trusted coaches. Let's put it to you that way, because obviously they've changed them over. But now you do have some weapons, and you do have an offensive coach that's did a very good job over in Detroit the last couple of years. I mean, we're talking about someone that won a Heisman Trophy. Like, we're not talking just anybody. You know, you also have to give him credit. Like, you want to compare him to Trevor Lawrence. He came out. He's been in how many different offenses as well? He's had how many different? They're not every quarterback can handle all those changes when they're first coming into the league. Not everybody's going to be a Jaden McDaniels. Not everybody's going to be some of these other ones. You know, I go back to the Packers. The Packers draft them and sit them. They sit them for a couple years, and it's worked to their advantage. Not every team has had that, can do that, and has had that ability to do that. I would give Caleb some more time. Yes, obviously, all of Jacob, it's a win now league. Let's face it.
He ain't going to win. He's not going to win.
That. It's a win now league, but you have to have some patience. And unfortunately, most teams don't, but you do.
I won't have patience when the real starter's on the bench and they're going to losing and they're going to show this. And I won't have that patience when they pick the wrong guy again. And when the rare times they do pick the right guy, the fans go off and they mutiny and they want him gone because they want the flashy arm, and the team stops and the team won't win. And the team stops winning after that because they keep listening to the idiots. I'm not going to have that patience.
Well, let me tell you, I like this comment in the chat room. Don't say we're losing in the chat room, Marvin. We got some good ones that pop in. This one's really good. Trevor Lawrence is the definition of flash in the pan. Had one decent season and fell off hard. Boy, I'll tell you, the Jags are paying a lot of money.
Okay, this year he's another one with a new offensive coordinator, right? And he's got some weapons. So let's see what Trevor Lawrence can do this year. But he's got obviously more years than Caleb. But I think Trevor Lawrence might show you a little bit more here this year. Cohen's a really good OC, right? And he's got the weapons on offense. Let's see what he could do. You know, it's a big year for Lawrence because he's been he's been very inconsistent his whole career, but he's also gone through how many coaches, how many offensive coordinators, right?
Yeah. I mean, have we learned nothing from Baker Mayfield? Have you learned nothing? No, I'm serious. Have you learned nothing from Daniel Jones? These guys who, they get drafted early. They're called bums and overrated early. Look at me now. They could just sign for $100 million in Tampa. He's out here balling. Daniel Jones is the MVP candidate, and they were written off. And neither one of those two have half of Caleb's talent.
No, please.
So
Baker's a man. Caleb would rather be called Callie. Give me a break. That's not even a comparison. Once he is gone, he is not going to make a comeback.
So Marvin, I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You having a good time so far?
Great time. I love it.
Well, wait till you see this next topic. Now you know what you signed up for.
Yeah, let's go.
Here we go.
All right. I've been waiting for this one, but I had to break the Colts in here earlier. No, not the Indianapolis Colts, but these Colts for this one. I've been holding on this for a while. You never know when you have to play that card. Chief CEO Tavia Hunt, the blast, the critics are celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination when a man's life ended in public for having a different beliefs, leaving a wife without a husband, 2 children without a father, and you dismiss it or celebrate it. That has nothing to do with who he is. That is a reflection of who you are. I know there's a lot to read into this, so I'm just going to say first, okay, when this story broke a long time ago, the only thing I said on this air, and everybody knows it, rest in peace, Charlie. It's just unfortunate that these children have to be raised without a father. I said it then. I'm going to say it now, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But when this came up, I felt it was important to get it out there, knowing that this guy's memorial service has gone ahead and taken place. So That's what I'll say it one more time. Rest in peace, Charlie. I feel bad that Erica Kirk has to deal with being a single mother raising a couple of young children, and I'm done. Marvin, go ahead.
Yeah, so you're asking me this my thoughts on Kirk?
Well, the whole situation, how I play it all out.
Yeah. So yeah, my thoughts have evolved toward everything here, and for me, I put Charlie Kirk in the Hulk Hogan category in some ways. Listen, okay. I hate that his wife lost her husband. I have a young wife and I have 2 young kids, and if you don't like me, I would hate for you to try to remove me from this earth and have my kids and my wife, have no husband, have no father. That's bigger than everything we're talking about here. Politics, the drama, that's, this family, that structure is bigger than everything out there. I do think that, when you live a life that is confusing to some people, meaning you have some people who love you to death, think you're great, and you have some people who are just confused by some of your energy. I think that just leads to even more confusion and unfortunate drama in your death. I think a lot of people are emotional and can't get past how they perceived him. And I think that's what you're seeing out there. It's kind of hard, when you're trying to mix 2 feelings of rest in peace, so much, in love to your family. But at the same time, there are people who have issue with the energy that thought you were creating that wasn't good. And even with that, that goes back and forth because a lot of it is, what did he say that was so bad versus the energy and just the atmosphere he created, in my opinion. With all that said, I thought it was horrible what happened to this man in broad daylight. I think that we absolutely need to have freedom of speech for everybody, regardless of, what's being said. I think you need to be able to say what you want to say, and that's it. That's my take.
No, and you know what? It's a good one. And the reason why I say it's a good one is this. I'm going to address Jimmy Kimmel at a later date. I don't have enough information on it now to bring it on tonight. The only reason I brought this topic on tonight is rest in peace to the man, and I wish his wife Erica the best in raising a single family, and that's all I want to do with it. I'm glad you took the take that you did. I really did, and that's why I let off with you.
Scott, I'll be honest with you. Ever since the last president election, I've really removed myself from a lot of the surface political, jargon that's out there. I don't even dabble with it too much anymore. But I'll say this: I didn't even heard of Charlie Kirk before he passed away. The first time I heard of him was the day he passed away, and I wonder how many people are the same way and they're becoming emotional. I don't know. I don't know how much of this is genuine and love. I don't know versus just political. I don't know, but I never heard of him, but I'm sorry what happened to the guy.
Yeah. And you know what? Giants, Yankees. I have the Giants and I have the Yankees topic coming up next. Thanks for joining us tonight. I just want to make sure I got some of these other things on here. So no, you're in the right place about this streak because this is something that's going to require it a little bit of time. No, we're not killing it with politics. This is one of those situations where this is an issue that we have to find a way to get it out there. So please stay with us, Giants, Yankees. We're going to get to that topic before we hit our station break. We appreciate you joining us. Nacho Vibes. It is a sports show, and we have a lot of sports. If you've missed a little bit before, you have Caleb Williams we talked about. We talked about tennis. And, of course, we have the Yankees. We have college football. We have a lot of everything. So Nacho Vibes, you're in the right place. Thanks, and we appreciate you hanging with us, okay? And you know what, Marvin, I'll say this, okay? I never heard of him before this situation, and I'm with you there. Okay, Chris and Candy, we'll wrap it up. I want to get to the Yankee conversation in just a moment because these folks are patiently waiting. So please stay with us, okay? Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, listen, no kid should grow up without their father. Right. And no wife should, not have a husband or, die too soon. I mean, this poor guy, agree with him, disagree with him, whatever. It has nothing to do with it. This guy does not deserve to die. Simple as that. I don't care what he said or what you agreed with him or disagreed with him. Put all that aside. The guy did not deserve to die. And it's a shame that his kids are growing up without their father. And it's a shame that his wife is a widow, right? Over what? Because he had an opinion? because you didn't agree with his opinion.
Right.
It's sad. And he even gave, this is the great thing about the guy. Okay. The one great thing we could all agree on is that he gave everybody a shot to discuss whatever opinion he had. If you disagreed with him, he gave you the microphone and said, here, let's talk. Right? No, what other person, what other politician would do that? Right? I would love for a president to show up at a college and say, here you go. Here's the microphone. Let's talk. None of them would ever do that, right? I don't care what side you're on. Neither one would do that. So that's the one thing you got to appreciate about the guy. Other than that, whatever, it's politics, whatever. But it's sad. I felt bad for his kids and his wife and himself. It's horrible. It's a horrible story. It's horrible where our country is right now. We're so divided. We have to start coming together, or our country is going to go to, I don't know where it's going to go, but it's not going to be good. We're so divided. We have to start meeting on everything.
Chris, that's a great point. Let's get to a couple of Yankees things first real quickly while these folks are patiently waiting in the chat room. Candy and Jacob will get you involved in this in a few minutes. Yes, the Yankees winning streak is now 33 in a row. This is an unbelievable streak. It really is. Number one, 33 is my lucky number. Number two, for all you folks in New York, the thing is the Yankees get to the tournament, okay, year in and year out, 33. They have 27 championships in their history, and they're looking for number 28. Jacob, if that isn't consistency, tell me what it is.
Remember, that's the Lakers' 1972 number, 33.
Right, there you go.
So it's like, and they won the thing. Really, by itself, you got to realize how much. This is where I really, really, really hate fans because of all the mouthiness they gave Cashman. And yet, they haven't won since 2009, but they've been to 6 ALCSs, 2 World Series, doing stuff like this. This is why I tell the world all the time. Just when you are always around, it takes that moment. You just never know where the switch flips. It's hard to flip the switch when you've won 50 games. It's hard when you lost 10 years in a row. It's easy to have it. But the biggest issue we have is people saying we need a new manager to get to the top. It's like, yeah, but you can also get worse. This is where Yankees fans never seem to understand that, and I'm glad that the Steinbretters don't listen to anybody. This is why they keep winning. They don't listen to the fans, and that is the biggest thing I have to say with it. And I just mean that, Pizaya. I mean this whole thing is when it comes to your fans, you always want everybody gone. You always want everybody fired. You want Cashman gone. It's like, who else are you going to find better? Because guess what? Remember the 80s? Remember the 80s? They got after 1980, 81, they got nowhere. And that's the whole thing. They don't have those memories. They have that, or they will forget about it because they want the now. But guess what? If they would have made those changes that the fans want, there's not 33 in a row.
Okay. Candy, are you noticing what I'm noticing? Okay, go ahead, comment on this, and then we're going to go back to the other topic to finish it up. Go ahead.
I mean, let's face it. The Yankees are the highest valued MLB team out there. They're valued at over $8 billion. Excuse me. They have one of the highest payrolls. And they're historic. They're franchise. I mean, so is it surprising that they're always up there? No. Like I said, they spend money. They get the guys that they want, and they get production out of them. And I'll leave it at that.
Marvin, you love the New York area.
Yeah. I grew up a Yankee fan, Yankee Dodger. Candy just said it. I mean, when you got the money, you can bring in the talent. And when you bring in the talent, typically the results should come with that. We've seen examples of salary cap in the salary cap era where a team who wasn't spending that much money has done well. But the reality is, if you're consistently spending that bread, then you should over a period of time have the results to show for it. And they do.
All right, Chris, your topic. Go ahead.
Listen, 33 straight winning seasons should be celebrated more, especially by Yankee fans. But unfortunately, a lot of Yankee fans, including myself, we got spoiled, right? In the late 90s, early 2000s, right? With all the World Series, 4 and 5 years. Yeah, we did get spoiled. So now it's World Series or bust every single season. But it can't be that way because it's a different game now. Now you got 3 wild cards, so you have to go through more rounds in the playoffs. So it's not an easy thing anymore, regardless of how much you could put. Like, look at the Mets, right? We were just talking about before the show started. $340 million payroll, and they may not even make the playoffs. So money doesn't guarantee you anything, right? You could have the highest payroll. It means nothing, right? You got to still put together the right team. So,
Chris, the big thing, this is the thing I'm trying to say with that. You're talking to the Cubs and Bears. I say it based off of this. I say it based off of this thing. I'm not going to go to where we were talking about earlier. I'm talking about going back to Lovie Smith. It's like they had their Super Bowl and then they had consistency. They fired him at 10 wins, and since then they've had 2 10-win seasons in 15 years. But Bears fans wanted him gone. Again, listen to the fans. Yankees don't listen to fans, which is why they win. And it's like, and that's the thing I always try to say to fans. You don't know. You keep wanting to insert the warm body in there over somebody who's been doing it long time. You keep wanting this. What are you going to do? What if you get the wrong one and it's 10 years out? Then you're going to throw a complaint and lament. The one thing I hate with fans is they lament. Well, you are the reason there's a problem. That's why I'm glad the Yankees don't listen to the fans. They let them buy their merch. They let them buy their food, their tickets. But they don't listen. That's why you keep winning.
And another stat, just to add to it, this year, right? They're in the playoffs. This is the 60th time in their history that they have made the playoffs. That's another thing that should be celebrated more. Like I don't want to be a Rockies fan or Pirates fan where my owner is not caring about winning, right? The thought that people think Hal doesn't want to win or he's cheap or something like that. The guy's got one of the highest payrolls every single year. That shows a lot. That shows you that he wants to win. It's as simple as that. Sometimes the team just doesn't do it in a play. It's not easy. I don't care who you got on your team. You could have the greatest team, in baseball, and it doesn't matter once you get to the playoffs. The playoffs is a totally different season, right? We've seen great teams not win the World Series because of the playoffs, because they have to win these games in the playoffs, and things happen. The playoffs. Once the playoffs start, I always say it, everybody goes back to zero, right? It doesn't matter what you did in the regular season. It means nothing when the playoffs start. Once the playoffs start, you could look at Judge, right? The 50 home runs, the 62 home runs. It doesn't matter. It matters what you do in the postseason. So you're back to zero. Everybody's back. Well, the teams that made it to the playoffs are back to zero. So it doesn't matter. So it's a whole different season. And we'll see what happens. So
I agree with you. Here, I'm sorry, Marvin. You have something you want to add to it, real quick? And
no, I would say the Yankees are victims of their own success. That's really the bottom. That's what it comes down to.
Yes. Yep.
All right. Well, let me add this. One thing about the Yankees is this: I've watched Michael Kay a lot of times, and I do subscribe to some of the things he does. Michael Kay is one of the greatest people you'll ever meet, and here's a guy that admits that to ever lean on the Yankee manager is ridiculous, because when you look at the standards set by the Yankees, win or else compared to everybody else, that's ridiculous. You don't believe me? Dick Hauser, okay? Here's a guy that won 100 games and couldn't even save his job. How did he do in Kansas City? Won it all. The list goes on and on. And the Yankee standards is so much different than any other standard. And let's face it, reality, the only organization many years ago in the Steinbrenner era that went out there and produced a lot of great players and traded them all. The only one that didn't get traded was Don Mattingly. And Don and I are close as you can imagine. We stay in touch every now and then. And, of course, I had an interview on the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel, which I encourage you Yankee fans and Giant fans that are out there, go ahead and check it out and please subscribe. Don Mattingly is on there, and I had a good 9 or 10 minutes with him alone. So the Yankee standard is what it is. If you're not happy with 27 championships, why don't you see how the Seattle Mariners, who are looking to get to their first World Series ever, the Colorado Rockies never even won a World Series, and all the other ones that haven't. Even the Miami Marlins have a couple World Series championships. So the Yankees are what they are. Jazz Chisholm wants to stay there, is what he does. And I have a feeling he probably will stay there. It's just unbelievable. Is Jacob okay? Nacho Vibes? Oh, he's doing great. I know that Nacho Vibes appears to be joining the Jacob Christner fan club. Great to know. Oh,
I'm
my
always
goodness.
good.
He's always
good.
like this. Jacob does a good job going out there and listening, and that's why he's pretty smart out there to doing it. So as far as the Yankees
Marvin
are concerned,
knows I'm good.
they're going to be fine. 33 years in a row of winning season. That's just unbelievable. All right, so what I want to do right now is this. And again, if we have more time, we'll address the Yankees later in the show. That's for sure. So, but there were two people that did have an opportunity to talk about Tavia Hunt, and we're going to go right to them, okay? First of all, Jacob, what are your thoughts about that situation? Wanted to make sure we got the Yankees thing there because we led with it as a headline. Want to make sure we address it early enough in the show, and then we'll go ahead. If we had Candy wrap it up, then we'll go to a station break. Go ahead, Jacob.
I missed it a couple of weeks ago because I didn't want anything to do with that part. I hung out with my nephew,
right,
who had his own little thing, so I missed that. And it was a rough time. But I'm saying this part: we are seeing the worst in people over this situation right now.
Right.
We're seeing the absolute worst in people, and it's like, and they're doing stupid things to troll. And this is the worst of the internet to be able to get something like this. And this is what people don't understand. The internet is not real. Right. It's like, really by itself, you'll get 5% people that are acting like morons, and they're the ones listening to the rest of the bots. They're listening to the rest of the bots that's just raising this thing going on by itself. If you saw that memorial, it was 200,000 people between outside and inside. Then everything like that means people that step on grass went there. It means there's more of that than there are online. But the online gets louder. The online got louder, and it's like the biggest thing that I would say this whatsoever, if every single person took about, I'd say 1 day a month off and just like stepped on grass a little bit and met people, you meet them all. Heck, being an Uber driver. I was an Uber driver 5.5 years. I had 60 different countries in my car. 60. I counted them through and through. You meet people. Once you do that, and I'm saying 2016, I had a Trump and a Hillary supporters sitting next to each other with their uniforms on, with them together, and they got along. I thought we were going to have a war in there. They got along. When you get off the internet, you get off that thing, people love each other. People end up loving each other. You find a lot more in common than you think. So we're just finding the worst in people because they're listening to a bunch of bots online.
And Jacob, I want to make sure that I keep things on point here, okay? I understand this is a sensitive subject with you. Don't get too emotional. All I'm trying to do in this situation is make sure that we understand the reality that the only reason why I brought this up is don't lose sight of the single parent effect. And that's all I'm saying. Rest in peace to the guy and the single parent. That's all I'm going with this. Let me finish.
I feel for that.
That's all. That's the only reason why this topic has been brought up. There are other ones that are far more candid than this, but this is one I felt we had to get out there because of the nature of it. You can't avoid everything. I'm just saying the single parent. There's a lot of single parents in this society. Unfortunately, this woman is one of them. Candy, you'll end the topic, and then we'll go to a station break unless somebody else wants to add it. I want to close the topic out.
I just want to add something real quick. I just want to, because it brings up other things, right? Because how many times have we seen kids getting shot in schools, right? And nobody makes a big deal about it. You get the thoughts and prayers, and we move on, right? Meanwhile, there's kids being shot in schools, right? Sandy Hook, we had like 20 little kids, 20 first graders shot to death. So now there's parents that don't have kids anymore. They were the same age as my daughter at that time. I cried that night, but I couldn't show my daughter that. I couldn't show her that I was worried about her going to school now because this is coming, because I don't want her to get nervous. There was no way I was going to do that. Now she's in school. Now she's in college, but I got to worry about that too.
Right.
But now, we're going to have a whole big thing for this one guy. And it's great. Trust me. I have no problem doing that for him. But what about all these kids that have been shot year after year after year after year? And all we get is, thoughts and prayers, and we move on to the next one, right? Until the next time comes. And then guess what? Thoughts and prayers, and we move on. We need change in this country. What it is, I don't know. I'm not smart enough, but something needs to change in this country. Something. What it is, I have no idea. That's for another show. Let's
Right.
get back to the fun stuff, the sports stuff, and all that.
Oh, don't worry. There's plenty of it here. Marvin, I brought you on for the NBA. There's a lot of hoop stuff to go, man. But we had to get this one out. I appreciate you weathering it all, hanging in there with us. It does get easier than this. Okay, Candy, give us the last word. We go to a station break. And believe me, there's a lot of great humorous stuff left on this show. Mark my word, and more college football.
The one point that I would really try and emphasize is we lost the word, and I'm going to use this word, respect, because we've lost respect for other people. Just because you have, let's face it, Chris, you have a different sports team that you follow. I should disrespect you because you follow a different team? No. Just because you are different, just because you believe different things does not mean you are not a person that should have respect. I should respect you. I really wish we would get back to September 12th, because that's when the country came together. That's when we all were united and we felt that we were all one, and that we, I miss that. I don't want a September 11th again. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
And we've had a lot of shootings. I mean, we had the Parkland shooting down here on Valentine's Day. And that was only a couple miles away from where we live. In fact, Scott has an office, and it was literally 2 miles away. He literally drove past the McDonald's that the shooter was at one point. It's sad. But part of it is we've lost respect for other people. We don't care about them or their families. It's my way, or, that's it. And that's what I really, and I don't know how we get that respect back. I don't know if you teach it. I don't know if you have to show it, but part of it is because people don't value other people's lives.
Great stuff. Candy, station break.
Okay. The South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganraw. It is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. It talks about Scott's 40-plus years in the media business and how it has evolved. Old school media versus new school media. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of other great content, so go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. If you'd like to advertise or sponsor a show, call Scott, 954-304-4941. If you want to be a guest or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. If you see that red subscribe button, that lower right-hand corner, click it, like, and share us, and turn on your notifications. That way you're notified whenever we do go live. Do want a preview. Watch for more details coming soon and when, but we are going to have a series on CTE and a former Olympic bobsledder. So watch for more details on that. Back to you, Scott.
And also, just a reminder for all those individuals out there, we'll be bringing the National Hockey League back on in a couple of weeks from now on Sports Wrap. So we have our hockey show coming up as well. We're building up a lot of good guests. I'm interviewing a few other people for the show. So I hope you can join us for the National Hockey League here on the South Florida Sports Network. So get ready, hockey fans. We'll be bringing it back. I know there's a few of you out there that are excited about it. And do people even watch hockey? Well, I don't know. Depends. But we'll see. But I'm going to tell you, when we get done with a gangbuster of a show, Marvin, you don't worry. I don't need you on hockey. I got a lot of people there. I need you for this show. Basketball, football, and stuff like that. Don't worry. It does get easier than this last topic, I promise you. So people even watch hockey today? Oh, really? As Keith Jackson would say. With that said, as promised, although I do have another interesting non-sports topic I want to get to before we get to the real heavy stuff. In Russia, tulips were once more expensive than gold. Can you believe that? Tulips were once more expensive than gold. What are your thoughts about that, Marvin Powell, before we get into some stuff?
What's more expensive than gold?
Get this. At one time in Russia, okay, the tulips were once more expensive than gold. Tulips.
Tulips.
Yeah, those things called flowers, tulips. I don't even know about
my
that
wife
stuff.
loves them. My wife loves
Oh,
it.
does she really? Good. Then I'll tell you one thing. She, I mean, I don't know about Russia these days, but she'd love Russia if they were more expensive than gold. But what are your thoughts about that? Tulips are more expensive than gold.
Man, I tell you what. I mean, gold has been the standard for so long. It's hard to even fathom that. I don't really have a lot of words for that. That was a different time, a different day. Man, I wish we could go back to that. I can grow tulips easy. You know how hard it is to get some gold out here? Just to get some real gold, go out to San Francisco, gotta get one of those metal pans and go through that whole process.
There's plenty of things to pan now. It's on the streets. It's a little brown, but
exactly. Yeah, but that's something to say, Scott. I can't imagine a world where tulips are valued more than gold.
But you know what? You can imagine a show where we come up with this information. We got natural vibes eating it up there. What's the source of that? Sounds interesting. I want to read more. You know what? I'm also looking to read more out there because I've always been interesting. I'd like to go ahead and understand more about cleaning companies out there as well because I may need one of these days here in my condo. You never know, though. I mean, we come up with all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we are a sports show, but let's face it, really, we're in prime time, man. And the one thing about our network is this. We go out there, educate, and inform. And we definitely do that, and we have fun. So even though Marvin's first deck, but he knew it, and he came on tonight, that I'm a gunslinger, be prepared for anything. But we know what his role is. But I want to make sure now that his wife always likes tulips, that on my first sports exchange, they talked about tulips. Now, do I ever tip you through the tulips? No, I probably follow them because I'm so darn uncoordinated, but that's beside the point. But all right, Chris, are you enjoying all this wackiness? Because I know Nacho Vibes is.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the gold over the what you said. Tulips are worth more than the gold. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the gold. You could keep the tulips. I'll stick with gold. I'm sure Jacob's going to stick with the gold too.
Go ahead. Well, that's a good segue. What are you going to say?
I'm not going to tiptoe through the tulips. I'd rather pant for the gold.
There you go.
No, but the by itself, you got to realize that you go back to Germany back in the 30s when the inflation was like at 1,000,000%. Bread was almost worth more than $1. So you get to that situation sometimes in these countries.
Okay, Candy.
The idea that tulips were worth more than gold refers to a historical event called Tulip Mania in the 17th century Netherlands. During the Dutch Tulip Mania, the prices of rare tulip bulbs skyrocketed to unsustainable levels, becoming more valuable than gold. Sometimes the rare tulip bulbs became incredibly high, sometimes costing as much as a house or as a skilled person's annual salary. Tulip Mania was a temporary economic event and the market collapsed, leading to significant financial losses for many spectators. So it was an economic bubble that eventually burst. But yes, at one point it was true.
All right, well, there you go. Now you have it. We're going to take a break from the non-sports. I give it to you pretty good. Now we are talking basketball. You ready, Marvin? Because I got some good stuff. Jacob, did you get your opinion on the tulips and the gold? Everybody good?
I did, yeah.
Good, all right. Now let's go back to basketball. All right, Marvin, we're going to get you started off easy with Charles Barkley, and then we're going to talk about Bob Ryan, okay? And I will be mentioning a lot about Charles Barkley on this show because what is he in? He's in my book, right? He's a picture of Charles and I. How do I even know this stuff? Well, you never heard of anything called research? Yes, yeah, we know Cleveland defeated Detroit. Sad but true. That hurts, but I'm not talking about that tonight. I enjoyed the Yankee talk better. I saw the Tigers sinking ship after that pathetic trade deadline they have, and that's as far as I'm going with it. All right, Charles Barkley, Marvin, we're going to you. He's my leading one. And when will you bring on Megan Price when we bring her and Marvin on together? Oh, we'd be really opening up then. And that reunion will come soon enough. So, all right, well, Charles Barkley doesn't hold back on Becky Hammon becoming an NBA head coach. He believes that for Becky, basketball IQ, work ethic, and interpersonal skills will make her a natural for the job, or at least she would be a good candidate. What are your thoughts, Marvin?
Yeah, listen, she's one of the coaches, one of the people in the WNBA that have kept me interested in the WNBA. I know she spent some time with Popovich down there in San Antonio, and I mean, she has been mentored, and she's kind of been through it with some of the best in the game. And when you hear these men praise her and talk about her the way they do, you have to buy into it. You have to believe it, and then you see her as a coach with Vegas out here winning championships. She has the best player in the game. It's inevitable. I think it is inevitable that in the NBA you are going to have a female head coach. It is coming. And to be honest with you, I expect her or whoever it is to do a great job. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is just communication, your ability to communicate with that player, motivate, teach, and instruct. And I have no doubt that Becky can do it. And I think Charles is right about her. I think she's on the rise.
Jacob?
I've been saying this, Marvin. I have been saying it. And Candy's heard me say a thing. I said this about her by itself. The one thing that irritated me was hearing that the Knicks tried Dawn Staley out. Of course, it didn't happen and all that kind of stuff. But here's the deal. This isn't a thing against Dawn Staley. She's a tremendous college coach. Look at all the credentials there. But your professionals in college are a different breed of animal. And Becky Hammon has won a title in Summer League with men.
Exactly.
She got men together. And that is the big thing. It's like, quit trying to there are people they're forcing women in, like a Dawn Staley in on an interview that's not going to happen in the first place. Right. Why didn't you call Becky Hammon, which you could have hired? That's my point I'm bringing on something like this. Quit delaying it. If you're going to get a woman coach, get the one that's coached men, knows how to get there. Okay, you have a women's college coach going right into the men, or you have the coach who's coached with Popovich, who's coached in Summer League, who's gotten all of them, and who's gotten a title. What are you waiting for in the first place? If you're going to make that move, make it with somebody who's got experience.
Oh, that's an excellent point. I'm glad you talked about coaching men winning a Summer League title. Great stuff. All right, Chris.
Listen, Becky Hammon's going for her third championship in Las Vegas this year, right? Third championship in 4 years, right? Great player. Like you said, she's already coached the men to a Summer League championship. She's done it in the women professional basketball. So why not give her a shot, right? Like you said, get it done. Like Jacob said, make it happen, right? Let's see a woman do it. I'm dying to see it in baseball. It's going to happen. It's going to happen eventually in every sport. It's simple as that. It's very close to happening in hockey. It's probably going to happen in hockey, possibly even before any other sport. But it's going to happen. So why not? If you're against it, if you don't think a woman could coach men in any sport, then I really don't know what to tell you, right? Because they're going to say, oh, they never played the sport, so they can't do it. Yes, some of them have. It's as simple as that. And there's some great coaches that didn't play or that weren't great players, right? That were men that went on to become great coaches. So it's just give them a shot. Why not give them a shot? Get it done.
Nancy Lieberman played with men. Lieberman played with men in small leagues. She could have coached men.
Listen, I am all for seeing a woman coach in any of the sports. I don't care what sport it is. If she knows the sport, then yeah, make her a coach. Why not?
Candy?
So I have a different perspective, obviously, than you guys do, because I am a female. So my thing is, do we really think the NBA is ready for everything that goes with having a female coach? Because let's face it, yes, supposedly Dawn Staley did interview, but she asked tough questions back, and she thinks that that's the reason she didn't get the job. I don't know that they're ready for a female coach. I'm not saying that Becky doesn't deserve it. I wholeheartedly believe she deserves a shot. I'm just not sure which team in the NBA is really ready for what that means. The media coverage that'll come with it, the tough questions, the players How will they respond to it? I totally believe that we should have that she deserves it. I'm not sure which team is ready to do that, to offer them that job. And we in football we have the Rooney Rule. Are we going to have some kind of rule eventually with women too? I don't know the answer to that question. I'm just posing it out there.
Well, and here's the thing too. You brought that part up. That's why I want Becky Hammon. See, this is the thing with the Dawn Staley. I will never say anything other than exceptional the college coach. But she's dealt with kids. Kids. These are adults and these are pros, and it's men, and it's like, and there's a different thing. Becky Hammon's coached men. She has done this, even if in a smaller league, even a smaller everything. She's had men listen to her to not only win games, but win a title. So that is all I'm saying, Candy. It's Popovich, Greg Popovich, and Bruce Arians were the first ones to put women in and say, we trust you.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first to say that, to the point now where they could be able to coach and be able to do it. Trusted them to coach men and told the men, listen to them. But you don't want to force a woman into something just because it's a woman, because I really, truly, and utterly believe they did it to Kim Ng. And now, and that ended. And see, I expected Kim Ng to be gone in 2 years. It was 3. And it was not her fault. And look what happened to Miami since. And that's the point. When you force something and do something like that, and then let's quietly get her out. See, you're not going to do it with Becky Hammon because she's coached men. You could do that to Dawn Staley. You could do that to the rest of them. So that's where I'm at here. We need to think. We need to think a little bit and think deep, and not just try to go for the media.
Okay, let's go on to more basketball topics. Unless you have something you want to add, Marvin, I got more.
I was going to say the NBA is different in that it's a players' league. It's a player-driven league.
Right.
The players have way more say and control in that league than any other league. And in order for Becky to have success, it's going to have to be a situation where a star player or veteran players on a team completely support that, and they're having those conversations with the GM and the coaches and their agents. That's what has to happen, and it's going to happen because she absolutely has garnered the respect of the men in that league. So at some point, you're going to see a gathering on a team of veteran players who have that conversation, give the green light, boom, there it is.
See, I brought this topic on for one reason. I thought if there's one woman who is capable of being an NBA head coach, is Becky Hammon, and everybody on this panel certainly reinforced what my instincts were telling me why it was a good topic to mention. But
NFL's not even close. Nowhere close to that, in my opinion.
I'm sorry. What was that, Marvin?
The NFL is nowhere close to having a female head coach.
I agree.
Not even close. Not even close.
No. You're correct.
And I'm not saying that it's good or something to say this is not. I couldn't even imagine. I haven't been in an NFL locker room in 25 years. I couldn't.
They already have coaches in the NFL.
I know that, but we're talking. Listen, having staffers and having a head coach, that's two different things.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Yeah, I don't think a head coach, but you might see like an offensive coordinator eventually, DC, something like that. I think that'll come first, but
maybe
which makes sense.
Well, Jen Walter is the only thing. I think Jen Walter is the only thing that comes close to anything professional in terms of a football. I think comes close, and we're a ways away. I'm with you all the way. But I'll tell you what, let's go on to the NBA topic because I promised Marvin to be my NBA guy. And I'll tell you what, we're going to go frequent flyer and postal with this guy. Marvin, I'm telling you, no, it's good. I love the dialogue with this group. This is the first time I've got this group together, so it's pretty tough. And I hit you guys with some pretty tough stuff already. And we have a couple people that have tuned out in the chat room because obviously they're really interested in a couple of interesting things out there, and it is what it is. But we'll leave it at that. All right, so let's talk about Russell Westbrook. Let's talk about the trail of where this all begins. Okay, back in April, Russell Westbrook's future with the Denver Nuggets is uncertain. In the Nuggets 124 to 116 loss, the coach benched him for another player. Westbrook had a player option worth $3.4 million. Evidently, he apparently declined it. We'll continue on. In July, he met with Sacramento in free agency. No deal got done there. August 21st, Russell Westbrook may enter the season as unsigned. All of a sudden, reality's begun to hit him. And and at that particular point, he's unsigned at this particular point. Now, as we continue on, okay, now our most recent update is he's reportedly planning to step away from the NBA and retire if no team shows interest in him soon. The former MVP is 36 years of age and is entering his 18th season. So the main thing is, should Russ retire? And again, the reason why I've broken this down into 4 stages is, one, he turns down an option, a player option, which he should have kept, because Michael Malone, his only security blanket, got fired, and now he's with ESPN. And I think Michael Malone's going to do a really good job at ESPN. And the only chance that Russell Westbrook has to get back in the league is probably Michael Malone. That could be another story for another day. I wish Michael well. I worked with his dad, Brendan, with the Detroit Pistons back in the Bad Boys era, and I had a lot of great memories of him. So again, the paper trail on this one goes back to he gets benched, coach sits him, declines his option, and Sacramento, and then obviously remains unsigned, and now he's kicking to retirement. Marvin, that's a lot, but go ahead and take it from there.
Listen, this is in my opinion, a first ballot Hall of Famer. This is a former league MVP, all-stars. He's broken records. I mean, Russell Westbrook is somebody in the league, or he was at one point. He's at that point. He's at that time, in his career where, he's trying to determine, does he still got it? Does he still have the passion? Does he still have the desire to get up and go train? These are things you have to think about. And then from there, is there a demand? Is there a demand for him? Can he be somewhere where his family feels good? Can he go somewhere and compete? Is he chasing the bag? I mean, he has a lot of things to think about. At the end of the day, I think, pro sports is a young man's thing. I really believe that. I think that's what history shows us. I think that sports medicine is real, and these guys are finding ways to stay young and all that. But at the end of the day, I mean, for him, if he's not desired the way he wants to be desired, and he doesn't go for it to a contender, is he really going to want to play again? I don't know. I think it's hard 18 years in. He's not chasing the bag anymore. At this point, you want rings. You want peace of mind, memory, family. I could see him heading out and ended up being on a podcast with us. That's what I could see.
I'd love to have him.
He'd have to deal with me.
As soon as I get one, and I get him, Marvin, you'll be the first phone call I'll make. All right, we'll go ahead. We'll turn it over to Jacob. What are your thoughts about Russell Westbrook?
Well, I can't wait to meet him. When he meets me, he'll love it. But still, it's the big thing about this is this happens to so many athletes. That's why and Marvin, this is your first time on here. I promote business with sports all the time. I promote them. I promote the Patrick Mahomeses and all of them getting the business deals, doing all that stuff. I want to see that because so we don't see these situations. This is not a broke dude, mind you, okay? This ain't a broke dude. It's just a guy that's all they've known. This happens to so many athletes. It's all they've known. And, I'm going to be the same. And then I killed the option. They don't want me like they used to. And and guess what? Your life comes before your eyes at this point in time. You've been doing this since you're 3. You're doing it, and you don't know anything else. I've talked to tennis players. I told you I play tennis. I've talked to them. They hate doing their life, but they've been doing it since they're 4 years old. They don't know anything else. This is why I promote this with all this type of stuff. Not to say that Russ is broke. He's not. But you need to have other things to go in life. You need to find the email boardroom and just keep reading all those business ideas and do that stuff and retire earlier. Retire earlier. So you have other ideas. You can be able to and you can be able to get with the younger ones in the league and tell them so they don't go broke. You can be able to mentor them. And that's all I want to be able to say is I don't want to see too many 18-year players anymore. I don't want to see it because the athletes are just too good now. They're just too good now. You don't want to be dealing with the 38-year-old dealing with the 22-year-old back in the 70s and 80s. It was just the old grandpa who still beat you off the wing. Anymore? No way. They're just all too good and too strong.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, listen, the guy's been he was seventh in the sixth man of the year award the last 2 years. So listen, if he's still got the fire in his belly and he still wants to play, just prepare and be ready in case somebody wants to sign him. He could be a good guy coming off the bench if that's what he's willing to do. And obviously he is the last couple of years being, a decent sixth man of the year. So listen, if it's still in it, if he still wants to play, he should be preparing in case somebody does call him. Will somebody call him? I don't know, but you never know. Injuries happen. We know in training camps. So if that happens, he might be the first guy a team calls.
All right, Candy.
He's a member of the NBA 75th anniversary team. He's a 9-time NBA All-Star and earned NBA Most Valuable Player for the 2016-17 season. He's a 2-time NBA scoring leader, having led the league in 14, 15, and 16 and 17. A 3-time NBA assist leader, back-to-back All-Star games, MVP. He is one of 3 players in NBA history to average a triple-double for a season. He has achieved that feat 4 times and is the all-time NBA leader in career triple-doubles. He's known for his ability to score near the basket, his rebounding, his durability, and his intensity as a competitor. He has played on 6 different teams in his career. He was quick. I mean, he's been playing since 2008. He's 36 years old. If a team wants to sign him, sign him. I mean, he can help a team. He also, I would think he would have some leadership qualities where he could lead some of the guys on a young team. Sometimes you look for mentors and leaders that have been there and can tell them, what to expect and all that. So if someone wants to sign him, go for it.
I mean, the only thing I'll say about this is we move on to the next basketball one, and this one gets bigger than these other two. And that's, don't worry, Marvin. I'm just, how it is, and warmer, and hot, because the next one is. It's Russell Westbrook. I don't know why he is being disrespected. If I had a chance to sign the guy, I would. He just needs to be in the right system with the right coach. He's a talented player. There's a reason why he'll end up with the Naismith Hall of Fame at some point or another. One thing missing on his resume is a championship. I don't know. And I don't want to go any deeper than that. I hope he goes back to work. I do believe he still has some basketball left in him to help a team. And we'll leave it at that. Okay, and I met another basketball topic. This one's going to be coming from a friend of mine who I recently had an interview on the Motor City Mad Mouth show. You ever heard of Bob Ryan, Marvin?
Yes.
Of course.
Of the Boston Globe? Mark?
Yes.
Good. What do you think of Bob Ryan?
He represents Boston, right? He's a
Exactly.
big Boston guy. I grew up in New York. First thing I learned in New York is we don't like Boston. I'm being honest with you. Like, it doesn't matter, one thing that Jet fans and Giant fans agree on, and Met fans and Yankee fans, we hate Boston. Listen, what I know about Bob, he's been doing it for a long time. I have nothing but respect for somebody who's been in the game as long as he has, and he's had real impact. Especially for people in the sports world and in Boston. I can't say anything about the guy other than that, to be honest with you.
Hey, Giants and Yankees, are you getting that? Okay, good stuff. All right, so here's what I'm going to say. Okay, Bob Ryan highlighted the biggest difference between Larry Bird and Michael Jordan, and Larry Bird did something Michael Jordan could never do. He said, I saw that happen more once, which is to dominate an entire game without taking a shot. Get this, without taking a shot. He continues to say he did this one night in Phoenix when he totally dominated the game with 7 assists, and they came their way back and helped the charge, and that's without taking the shot. In other words, the Celtics won, and he only had 7 assists. Bob Ryan knows Larry Bird better than anybody. He's worked with him more. And that's why I wanted to bring this topic in, Marvin. But I've always liked the Boston Celtics because the Pistons had to go through growing pains during the bad boys' day to get through Boston to become champions. Now, again, I have the utmost respect for those in New York because I thought Tom Thibodeau is a heck of a coach. I can't believe he got let go. I hope Mike Brown does okay in New York. I really do. If you're going to find a guy to replace Tibbs, I think they may have gotten it right with Mike Brown. Keep it on point with Bob Ryan. What are your thoughts about Larry Bird only having 7 assists and still helping his team win the game? That's a part of this thing. Everybody out there should be going out there and trying to digest. Larry Bird was that good. Take it from there, Marvin.
Listen, unbelievable in a game of numbers where scoring is everything, and all you're trying to do is score points and stop someone from scoring. If you can influence a game without scoring these points, I mean, that just shows your greatness. It shows the respect people have for you. Obviously, all the work that you've done prior to that game speaks volumes, because if the other team is keying on you, thinking about you, worried about you, and you're not even scoring, I mean, you're the man. That's not even real to me. That's not even real to me that you could go out there and be a player who has that kind of influence, but you score no points, or you take no shots. I mean, you look at players today, the top scorers. I mean, it's just you wouldn't see that, but that speaks to his greatness, though. You know what I'm saying? And when you ask the great Michael Jordan, I mean, I've heard him on countless occasions say that Larry Bird was one of the most fierce competitors, one of the best players he played against. And Mike doesn't give, to my opinion, he doesn't give a lot of credit. He doesn't give a lot of compliments, in my opinion, real compliments. But he does to a few, and Larry's one of those people. So Bird is one of the GOATs of sports. Period. I don't have a problem saying that.
Great. Okay, Chris.
Yeah, you know what? Just getting back to Bob Ryan real quick. I remember watching him on the Sports Reporters. Loved that show with him on it. He was always great on there. And Larry Bird, I mean, he's one of the greatest to ever play the game. Easily top 10 player, amazing player. Did what he had to do to win games. I remember watching him play when he had the bad back towards the end, and the guy just gutted it out all the time. As much as I'm a Knicks fan at the time, and I hated Boston, and I still hate Boston, we were so lucky to watch a guy like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and then Michael Jordan play. I mean, just the greatest players to ever watch, to ever play the game. So,
Jacob,
Marvin, Bob Ryan is number 1 in knowing about Larry Bird. Number 2 is you're looking above him, right? Me. I'm from Illinois, but I was a Larry Bird fan growing up completely. So I've got a lot of knowledge.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you this. Not only did he do that game in Phoenix, but he is the inventor of 50-40-90. And not only is he the inventor of 50-40-90, he averaged it for a 4-year stretch. Imagine that part. He could do anything he wanted with that ball. But the biggest thing about Larry goes back to the thing we were talking about with Russ about staying too long. He didn't stay too long. Larry, he was hurt. He was gutting it. He knew it, and he had his 49-14-12 game against Portland. He had that game, which it was also 41-11-8 for Clyde Drexler too. He had that game. He also had 16 assists in his the Boston Garden game in a playoff game. So the thing is, that's the way to go out, even if you don't win your title. Go out when people still have the memory that you could still do those little 49-point games, the thing that make the fans go Larry, like they used to. Just one more time. And then go while they want you. And as far as Bob Ryan, let me say this part. It's hard for me to see Bob Ryan get older because I've seen him for many, many years, and I'm saying this. Bob Ryan deserves being the Mike Royko age of the memories that we have with the cigarettes inside of the place, with the click, 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 all that stuff, and going to the bars and telling stories, smoke above them, smoking cigarettes and doing stuff. They belong in that mindset. It's hard to see them in the digital age when they're older and everybody else is so different. That's where I see Bob Ryan. That's where I saw Mike Royko. It's where I see all the old type guys. It's hard for me to see them in the digital age because they came from such a different era.
Let me tell you one thing: if you see him in person, he looks fantastic. He's been retired for a while.
Good.
Candy,
I'm glad to see that. You know.
no, I know, and I'll tell you, I'm thrilled that he's one of my best friends. And anytime I need something, I got his number. He always comes on and helps me out. We've always spent time together. He's written books and he's taught me out. And I also mentioned mine. Candy, you have the last word. I have a few topics I want to get to, so we'll continue going. Go ahead, Candy. Anything you want to add to it, real quick?
Larry Bird and Magic Johnson are known as one of the greatest rivalries in sports. Their rivalry began in college when Bird and Indiana State lost to Johnson and Michigan State in the NC2A championship game. The rivalry continued in the revived Celtics-Lakers rivalry in the NBA. Either the Celtics, led by Bird, or the Lakers, led by Magic, were present in every NBA Finals series in the 80s. Scott, you tell stories about Larry Bird, and one of the stories that you say is Larry Bird told you at one point to always think 3 steps ahead.
Yeah.
That goes to this not scoring and always assisting and thinking, okay, how can I get the ball to somebody else so they can score? How can I do that? How can I do that? He was very mindful of who was on the floor and who he was playing for. Very smart man, very talented.
Okay. We're going to go to one non-sports topic, another non-sports. This one's a lot easier than the last few, Marvin. It's okay. You've taken some pretty good shots, but this one's easy if you want to travel some. Okay. Now, you're just so you know, I found out about this information in April because why? Because Candy and I are definitely we're going out of town on a cruise, right? So I like to do my homework when I'm going on a cruise. So get this. The European Union will require travel authorizations for Americans starting in 2026, starting in late 2026. Americans will have to apply for a now travel authorization called ETIAS. Well, that almost feels like an eye test for me. Let me repeat that back so my eye doctors that are watching this can go ahead and see. ETIAS, all capital, okay, before before heading to most European countries. What do you think of that? You ready to get you ready to go to Europe there, Marvin?
Is that in addition to passports? I mean, I don't, why do they need additional information or information from us? I don't get that.
Well, it's just another authorization to go to Europe. That's all.
Yeah,
they're getting tricky with this stuff. They don't want to.
Yeah, they are. They are, and I don't want to get to a point where people don't like Americans. I think we're already there. But,
they're already there.
Yeah, right. And so I don't know, Scott. Listen, right now I'm trying to keep it safe here in Atlanta. I hope y'all enjoy Europe, though. I hope y'all have a good time.
Oh,
get all your paperwork signed, get your certifications and your stickers and everything.
I got the passport part. We got the UK thing done. Now I know I have to do this, but I think we'll get away with it this time.
Yeah.
So, Chris, don't worry. I got one more great non-sports one, which is a doozy, but not as bad as what you had to deal with earlier. Okay. All right, go ahead, Chris.
Well, what's the reason for that change? Like, why are they doing that?
They want another authorization. When you sign a mortgage, you got to sign 9 million papers. When you leave here, they're going to make you work for it.
And I'm sure we probably got to pay for it, right?
Of course. I expect it to be free.
So someone's making a buck off of this. Yeah, that's really what it's coming down to. There's a little greed here. But you know what? Greed is what the world what makes the world go around, right? So this is not surprising. It's another fee the average guy or the average woman has to pay to do something, right? So greed is greed.
Well, I don't have to worry about it. So Candy does. Go ahead, Candy. What do you think about this extra piece of document we have to worry about?
Only Candy has to worry about it. All right.
Oh, she handles it all. I'm not
just send Candy.
She's way more patient than I am when it comes to this stuff.
So
I need your address. I want to send Candy my bills too.
This world that we live in now wants to know more and more and more about us. So let's face it, if you want to fly in the United States, you have to have the star on your license now because you had to take more documentation and get more documentation so that you're eligible. So now for us to go into another country, they want, let's call it what it is. It's almost like, on the turnpike, I get charged a fee to drive on the turnpike. Well, they're charging a fee for us to go visit their country. It's another way for them to make money. The There's hotel taxes. If you stay how long down here in Florida, that's how Florida generates a lot of their revenue, is by getting hotel tax, in there. So am I surprised? No. One of the things that I will say is I work for a bank, okay? And we charge fees, and people get upset about fees. Well, there are ways to avoid fees. If you don't want to pay this fee, then don't go there. It's that simple. Okay, Scott.
Good. Okay, turn over to Jacob. One more non-sports topic coming. Then we have a really good one. Then we got pundit coming up shortly. We know Jacob was full opinion.
I absolutely wish I had my Gordon Gekko hair so I could just.
And if we have time, we'll talk about Mario Cristobal to you. But I have a few other things I want to get to that we're going to go in rapid fire. Go ahead, Jacob. What are your thoughts about this latest?
Because I want to say greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed sells. Greed, no. yeah. But you're bringing that part, but
for other people, not for the guy paying for it.
Yeah, right. No, this is the thing I'm just going to absolutely say about going to Europe whatsoever. I have never been out of the country, out of Canada, so this will be a first. I'll be paying everything all at once for the first time when I do it. But you want to know what I absolutely want to be able to see? What we all need to do anyway? Let's just learn the language. Learn the language and get into their world, because they already don't like Americans because they think we are obnoxious. So why don't we just go along with the thing and kind of just blend in the first place? So because we're already going to have to do this in the first place, why not go to the next extra mile?
Okay, last non-sports topic of the night. I know, Marvin, don't worry, Marvin. I won't bombard you with them all the time.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Is it good? Then you'll definitely like this one. Okay, get this, okay? In the middle of the month, I found out that this man, who, by the way, is named Ida Boudel Salam, a household name, by the way, and 5 months in jail because no one told him his bail was only $2. $2. The guy didn't know, and his bail was only $2. $1, $2, and they even had a $2 bill made. That's all it would have taken him to get him out of the slammer. So getting back to Ida Boudel Salam, who's 41, from Queens, New York. Yes, Queens, New York. There's a New York reference in there other than the Yankees. Was arrested in November of 2014 for allegedly stealing a coat and assaulting a police officer. His bail was initially set for $25,000. But $2, Marvin, what do you think? Oh, my God, the power of not knowing just got a little bit more interesting.
Listen, if we're talking about, real accountability here, and the first thing I have to say is, he put himself in jail. I mean, ultimately, whatever he did, these are his actions. But the fact that he was in there for a $2 bail, didn't know it, that wasn't communicated, that's criminal in itself. I don't know anything about that story, so I would hate, I don't know what he did to this police officer, or the details behind why he attacked the police officer or whatever it may be. But, $2 bail and you sitting in jail, I mean, I have a problem with that. I do. My question, my bigger issue is, why are you out here hitting cops? Why are you out here beating on the police?
Right, exactly.
That's never good business. So that's never ends well, and it shouldn't, because you shouldn't be hitting on cops. But it's sad. It's ignorant. That's crazy. $2 bail and you in jail. You didn't know it. I mean, you don't get a public defender to tell you this. I've never been arrested. I've never been to jail. I don't know how to, I watch a lot of Netflix, but they usually get their lawyers pretty quick, man, Right. And I've never heard of $2 bail. I've never heard of a $2 bail. Don't publicize that, because if people find out that bail's only $2, you're going to have even more crime out here. And I mean that. You will. All right?
Well, the only thing I know about the story is this, and I'm a bad math person, but $25,000 is greater than 2. That's all I know about math, and I'll pull this thing out there because it was so far-fetched. It made this show, and that's why we're all laughing about it. That's all. But don't worry, it gets easier. We have a very good inspirational story after this one, but we had to go ahead, and me being a different student of the media as I am, Ida Salam got publicized for all the most interesting reasons on the planet, and in Chris's backyard, Queens, New York.
I grew up in Brooklyn, but Queens is right next to it. But I don't understand this. He gets $2 bail, because he punched a cop. He hit a cop. Is that? Am I?
No, he didn't know. He didn't know it was reduced to $2, and it was 25 grand. That's yeah. Let's not read into this topic. It's supposed to be a fun topic. I don't want to turn this into something.
I got you. No. I'm just curious. So, how did he not know? Like, wouldn't they have told him, "Hey, listen, your bail went down to $2"?
Something like that.
Yeah. All right.
Good enough. All right, Candy. Yeah. And Jacob,
No
because we got pundit coming up shortly, but we have a really inspiring story in a moment. Go ahead, Candy.
I don't even know what to start with this. The only thing I would say is people sometimes take dumb pills. And I'm sorry, but they do. It's like, how do you not know that your bail went from $25,000 to $2,000? It's something that affects you when you're like, he took a dumb pill. Sorry, that's all I'm going to say.
Good. All right, go ahead, Jacob. Keep it simple, stupid. Even though the topic is stupid, but it was smart to put it in here.
Salam in Islam means peace. And I'll say this: if you find out you have $2 and you already given there 5 months, you're not going to be very peaceful. Okay. But the biggest thing that I can say with something like this also is, dumb. Every bit of it, the Candy, every bit. And there are just too much dumb out there. But there's also but they take so much advantage of something like this because of an overload of cases, overload of everything, especially in that world. And that's what can be able to happen whatsoever. And the lack of communication and all that kind of stuff. And they probably more of these, there's probably to this day, 2025, there's probably more of these stories than we know.
All right, well, I'll tell you one story, which is an inspiring one, and we're staying with the basketball theme, but this is a really good one. Retired Sister Jean Dolores Schmidt, the 106-year-old chaplain of Loyola University of Chicago, is officially retired. God love this woman. My goodness, March Madness will never be the same. She is no longer able to physically be present on campus, according to University President Mark Reed. Marvin, I know I've hit you with a lot tonight, but there was no way I was leaving Sister Jean out of this show. What are your thoughts about our beloved sister?
Man, I remember her. I don't know how many years ago, but she was first announced her debuted out there supporting her team out in Chicago. It was a great story. It was a feel-good story. You know, the school she was with was a lower-ranked school. I think it was Loyola Marymount or Loyola out of Chicago.
Loyola, Chicago.
Yeah. They you know, and I think they went on a run or had a few wins, whatever it may be. And she was the spokesperson, person who they were featuring. It was cute. It was great. She's 106 years old. Oh my God, 106 years old. God is with her, and I have nothing but love in my heart for that lady. And I hope that she's able to live out her last days with a smile on her face.
If there's anybody could do in this world, okay, I wish we could give this woman a hug. God only knows she's probably had 106 million hugs because that lady's worth every last hug that she gets. We'll go to Mr. Midway.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Marvin.
No, I was gonna say, you can imagine how many people she's impacted in her life, how many positive impacts she's had in her life, man. Just blessing people with her presence. And I enjoyed her media run. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, she was good. She was a good motivation. Hey, she got her team to a Final Four, and that's what put her on the map. And I'm just glad we put her on our Sports Exchange map tonight, despite the fact that we've been all over it to begin with. Jacob, she's in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I know, from Illinois, yeah. No, let me tell you this. She's retired at 106. I just want to see one of her pension checks. You know, this at the end of all that kind of stuff. She's worked about 85 years. I think she's doing well for herself. But let me tell you this, though. To say anything, if she's 106 and can't physically make it, she's probably got a couple months left. It's just true. Because when you're working that long, truthfully, I've always said this to everybody. When you've worked that long, you want to keep going until you can't anymore, and then your time is coming. It's because you can die too early from just trying to retire too early. You want to keep your mind sharp. You want to keep everything. Her time is probably coming, unfortunately. But you know something? She's had one heck of a life. And we can't say anything else about that.
No, that's why we made this topic. I'm glad we put it on. I know we have a lot of this is one I had to make sure we got in. I'm glad we were able to get it. I was determined to get it in. So with that said, Candy, what are your thoughts? We'll go to Chris, and then we're going to talk about Mario Cristobal, and then Jacob's going to finish the show with his pundit. All right, Jacob?
Sister Jean began teaching at St. Bernard's School in California back in 1946. She announced her retirement. Jacob, just so you know, she said that the health setbacks were due to falling from her wheelchair in the spring and dealing with the summer cold. But she is gradually recovering, and she does intend to work upon being cleared. So, hey, 106 years old and she still wants to work. Good for her. It gives her purpose, gives her something to do, keeps her mind going, keeps her in shape, keeps her invigorated, being around teams and being, a chaplain to them. It just, I loved to see it because I thought it was cool how she supported the team and the team supported her. And in a day and age when a lot of people put the elderly out to rest and stuff like that, I thought this was cool that she was so involved.
Chris?
Yeah. Listen, God bless her. You guys have said just about everything. I hope one day the school maybe puts a statue of her or something at the school, maybe to honor her. I think that would be pretty awesome too. But God bless her, man. To live that long and awesome.
Yeah, you know what, Steve? Chris, I think of Steve Reichel a lot because he's taught me an awful lot here as well. If it weren't for Stephen Reichel, I wouldn't know Marvin Powell and Ben Troop and all the other people. But I'll tell you what, if there's ever a person that there's a statue over at Loyola, Chicago, it's Sister Jean. Great stuff. All right, one last sports topic to get to, then we will wrap it up with Pundit's Pundit. Mario Cristobal talked about saying that the U is back on Kane's 305, one of our podcast sources. It's nostalgia theater in this country. Everyone wants to go back. Well, we don't want to go back. We want to go forward and take the principles of that brand of football and take it forward. We talked about this at great length, right, Marvin, yesterday, but I wanted to bring it up with a different group here, and that's this. I'll lead it off. Mario, what you're saying is great. I do believe in what you're doing. I think that you're certainly, if there's anybody who personifies what the University of Miami is all about, it's Mario Cristobal. I believe today was his birthday, and he's a two-time national championship as a player. But again, I'm going to reiterate what I said. Here's what you need to do this year, Mario. You need to win a bowl game, and you have to win the ACC, period. I've said my piece. I'll turn it over to you, Marvin.
Yeah, I mean, listen, winning the ACC is doable. Listen, you've seen a lot of guys go out there and try to coach their alma mater, and it didn't go well. They got the right guy. I believe in Mario. I do. I think that he was the coach. He was a part of the culture. He gets it. He understands, what this really is, and he's somebody who's very real. He's somebody who the players can believe in because he's been there, done it. When he's talking to these kids, he's telling them the same message that his coaches told him at UM. You know what I'm saying? He's just, right. Jimmy Johnson, those guys, Coker, he's relaying that same energy. Right. At the end of the day, I think that he has UM, number 2 in the country right now in the AP, I think it is.
Exactly. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, unbelievable. Quarterback. You have a quarterback. They got one of the best players in the country on the edge. UM is looking good, man. It's early. We're talking about fool's gold. I don't think that's what we're dealing with here. I think that Cristobal is a veteran coach after his stints at UM, Oregon. I think he's crystallized to be what he needs to be, and I think the results are showing. I think that the Miami Hurricanes are back. I think they're going to have a good year. Winning the ACC, you should. Winning a bowl game, you should.
Well, here's the thing. I get the other two mentioned. How about FIU? He was able to do a pretty good job at Florida International University. If you can be a decent, well, no, that's why I'm bringing it up now. I saw him coach over at FIU, and I saw one of the best games I've ever seen when FAU beat FIU, and there was a guy by the name of T.Y. Hilton who Cristobal coached that nobody really even thinks about. But Mario Cristobal coached T.Y. Hilton, And when FAU won the game, I managed to pull a few strings and got them into the Motor City Bowl back then a long time ago because I knew some people back in Metro Detroit. They're a little talk, Marvin, not only what you know, but who you know. But I'm with you all the way. I want to give you a little bit more recognition tonight. Chris?
Listen, their next matchup, their next game, I should say, is not till October 4th. They got the week off to prepare for. This could be, if they get by Florida State, right, at home, if they get by Florida State, they might be able to run the table, right? After that, you got Louisville, Stanford, nobody ranked, SMU, Syracuse, NC State, Virginia Tech, and at Pitt. So they got a chance to run the table here if they could get past, I think, Florida State. And it looks like they will, right? So they get past Florida State, they could run the table.
Well, watch out for a guy by the name of Tommy Castellanos, because Marvin and I are going to talk about this at great length on Inside the Pigskin on Tuesday night. So I'm glad you brought it up. And don't sleep on Louisville either. Jeff Brom's a good coach. I'm looking forward to also talking with Frank Reich as well. But good points all the way around. Marvin, the best part about football is we really turn that thing loose, and then we get to clean up what we want to clean up tonight, don't we? So we have football and a lot more. So Marvin gets it all. But Chris, with all due respect, Jeff Brom, Frank Reich, don't sleep on those guys. Those are good coaches / quarterbacks. And Carson Beck, Cristobal's proven that he knows how to use the transfer portal. Go ahead, Candy, and then we'll go to Jacob. Then Jacob gets his few minutes with Pundit's Pundit. We wrap it up.
So the Hurricanes, are they back? Well, let's face it. We thought they were back last year, and at the last couple of games that we thought they should win, they didn't. They fell off. They sputtered. They had lots of penalties. So are they back this year? Would love to say yes. One of the things Mario also said, our alumni are coming back to practices. They're getting around our players. They're providing awesome mentorship. And all they're talking about is moving forward. Our guys want to make those guys proud. They want to play like them, but we don't want to go in a time capsule. We want to go straight ahead, and we want to make it happen now. It remains to be seen what they're going to do. Their toughest test is going to be going to Florida State and playing at Florida State. They've played all their games so far at home with a home crowd in front of them. Now they're going to Florida State, which, if any of you have ever been there, it gets loud. It is very much a Florida State crowd. So it remains to be seen. It'll be interesting to see how they can handle that tough test on the road.
All right, Jacob, you have last word on this topic. Then when you're done with that, we go to Pundit's Pundit.
Well, we just need a 2025 version of wide right or wide left. We just need to get that. It's like there's no question. But no, the thing about it is the fact that when Miami is good, it's better for college football. And it's like when the Hurricanes are good, you get all the celebs, you get everything. It's an excitement. There's something different with it, and especially right now with Michael Irvin taking his nice fresh line of Coke before he goes nuts on that whatever he's spinning, whatever the heck he's spinning. He is absolutely insane out there, but he loves
that was great.
Yeah, and it's like there's no question that is a nice fresh line of Coke there every time he does that. But the thing about it is when they're having fun, that's the whole thing about it. It's like Miami is just better that way for that. So there's the big thing, and I'm like, I hope it well for him, and I would love to see Miami and University of Georgia go out in a playoff. I would love to see that, or yet Miami versus Tennessee, because there's some great teams this year.
Yeah, well, John Bonamego, to me, used to be on Inside the Pigskin, and I think Marvin found that out yesterday through the chat room, right, Marvin? And
yes.
So I don't know, I love the Canes, but I love my guy, Coach Bono. All right, with that said, we'll go to Pundit real quick and wrap it up. Great job by the group tonight. We were all over the map, but I'll tell you, this group, I'm proud of this group in more ways than you'll ever know. If I could hug every one of you tonight, I would. I get one, but the other three deserve hugs too, but at least think no more.
I'll take it up for all of them, okay?
There you go. All right. Well, go ahead, Jacob. Pundit real quick.
All right. Someone asked me the other day, what if I was to get myself bigger, which network would I want to be on? And I thought about it for a couple of seconds, but it didn't take long. See, I like what I'm doing right now. And it's like, and yeah, I can get bigger the way I'm doing it. I could get also bigger, faster with ESPN, hypothetical. I don't want that, though. Because if you watch any of their little pundit networks and everything like that, or their little debates, I'm going to say debates, it's the fact that someone has to say something stupid. Someone has to say something stupid every time to be able to catch it in every 15 minutes in their ratings. And it's like, and you know darn good and well producers are telling them they have to be the dumb one. You can't do that with me. I always have to be able to be honest. I have to be able to tell the truth, no matter what. And ESPN couldn't put up with that. So then you have the regular ones, the Foxes and all that stuff, but that's the same way, in a specific way, even if it's not as bad as ESPN. So what about Barstool? Oh, hell no. Because anybody that would want to promote Frank the Tank as anything, any kind of relevance, shows, and it brings in him screaming into the camera every time the Mets blow a game, which they blew another game tonight, thanks to my Cubs. But anytime he would want to scream, holler, everything like that, they don't want intelligence. They don't want any kind of debate. They want morons. So that wouldn't work. So what is the answer to my deal of what I would want to do? I'm here with Sideline Sports, and I'm here. The Sideline Sports works with South Florida Tribune. Right. I want to help build something, a highly intelligent company. You know, we all work together with this, that we have real debate, that no one's being told what to say and how to say it. I want every single night, I want all of us to be able to get on there and do that kind of stuff. I don't want anything for the ratings, or that we have to be able to be stupid, or any of that stuff. I want everybody to be smart and be able to have their knowledge. And that's the greatest thing about the internet right now, is we have this opportunity to build our own media, to build our thing. I've been an actor. I've been a trained actor. I still am. But I tell this to an actress friend of mine all the time. I tell her this. This is the best time now to be an actor or actress, whatever we want to say. Because you can be in Nebraska or Quincy, Illinois, where I'm from, and make movies. Heck, Quincy, Illinois has had 5 years now where they're having a film festival. Small little one. Last year they had Eric Roberts there. You can do anything you want at any place at any time because of that type of deal. You can go on that little phone that you see and create a short film anytime you would want. And it can be about some gecko crawling across because that camera is that good. We have these options. We have these deals now. This is the golden age of the world. Why do we need to go to ESPN? Why do we need to go to Fox? Why do we need to go to Barstool? Ugh. Why do we need to go to it's like, mind you, if I got called to something that I prefer and like, is the first thing I would say is, are you going to give me 100% freedom?
Right.
Are you going to give me 100% freedom? I can guarantee you 99% of them will say no. And the biggest thing about it is, there's no way I would ever have the situation, nor am I ever going to get to a point where I'm going to be like Jalen Rose and walk on eggshells when he said something quote unquote wrong, and they put that little screen behind him. It looks like he was a hostage because he said something that was quote unquote wrong, probably on women's basketball or something. I can't remember. The little apology thing, they made him do that. There's no way anybody can make me do that. And guess what? If it means I'm poor a little bit longer, so right. Be it. I still wake up in the morning, look myself in the mirror, and I'm happy.
Good. Well, we're happy to have you on Wednesday night. Happy to have Marvin on as well. With that said, Candy, quick station break, everybody. Before I send her there, let everybody know how to get a hold of you. Jacob, real quickly, lead off.
Yeah. I am on Sideline Sports. I run the Sideline One Sports on TikTok, which we're growing right now. I'm doing this right here. I also get guest spots on other shows. I've been on Ryan Neff's show, a bunch of others, and I'm building as I go. And then I'm also writing a couple of short films, and we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, I'm going to send you a messenger request to see if I get you and Rachel on soon. If I do it, are you available at 8:00 on Thursday nights?
8 o'clock on Thursday night. Not every Thursday night, but pick one. We'll see what we got.
All right, that's all I need to know. All right, Marvin, let everybody know how they get a hold of you.
Yeah, you can reach me, Marvin Powder Third, on Facebook, Marvin on the mic on Twitter, Instagram, and God, I forgot the other one. You can catch me with the South Florida Tribune Tuesday nights, Wednesday mornings, and Wednesday evenings. And I'm on Locked On with Locked On USC Mondays and Fridays.
Beautiful. You're active. We're going to make sure you get even more active. When I get done with you, your Google will be swelled pretty good. I'm glad you're with me, Marvin. I'm proud to have you along with me. All right, Chris, Candy wraps it up.
Yeah, you can find me at Liftoff Jets. I do a weekly Jet podcast that Marvin joined me a few weeks ago, and my partner Sharman. I also co-host at NYMLB Talk baseball, Yankees, Mets. Friday night, 10 o'clock, we got our good friend Madison coming back. She's making a huge announcement for herself. Should be very interesting to see what that big announcement's going to be. That'll be Friday night, 10 o'clock on NYMLB Talk, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X. And you can also find my personal page at CP7NY on X.
Beautiful. And I tell you, I've been on their show quite a few times, and I'm going to tell you, Chris and Rob do an outstanding job. Please go ahead and support them all the way. They support us, and we provide them. Rob comes on Monday night. Chris comes on Wednesday. He has a tougher job because to deal with me with all this off-the-wall stuff. Rob only gets a little bit, and Chris gets hammered a lot. Katie, take it away for one last station break. Go ahead.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40-plus years in the media business and how it has evolved, old school media versus new school media. Go get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content. So go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. If you want to sponsor a show, call Scott, 954-304-4941. And if you want to be a guest or you have topic ideas that you want us to cover, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Back to you, Scott.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us on this edition of the Sports Exchange. Another lively Wednesday night episode next week. And the basketball will continue to come on here. Had a lot of good stuff tonight, but boy, when we start talking a lot more about LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith, and a lot of these other people out there, it's going to get more interesting. Had to lead off with Russell Westbrook, and of course, I want to acknowledge my friend Bob Ryan, who has written a lot of books out there as well. And Becky Hammond, what can I say? Her opportunity is long overdue. So meanwhile, great show tonight. Hope you enjoy tomorrow's edition of Sports Wrap. George Eichhorn, myself, and Trevor Thompson will be on tomorrow night. And of course, Candy has Fire Up as well. So on behalf of Jacob Christner, Candy Ebling, Marvin Powell III, and Chris Pizza the Pazaya, I believe. My name is Scott Morganroth, Motor City Madmouth. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow night on the network. Good night, everybody.